I turned on 96, and the next thing I knew, the sheriff was asking me to get out of the car.
Linda Mead says how she got to that moment is a wild ride. A Houston County Sheriff's Office report says she was driving the wrong way down Highway 96 near her Warner Robins home early one morning last July. When deputies got to her, the report says she was unsteady on her feet and had a hard time standing up. She failed a field sobriety test and was arrested.
I was very embarrassed, very humiliated.
From the time she turned out of her neighborhood to that conversation with the deputies, she says she can't remember a thing. What she does remember is taking an Ambien sleeping pill the night before. She says her doctor prescribed it. Mead says she blacked out behind the wheel, even though she followed all her doctor's orders. You took the Ambien that you were prescribed as prescribed.
Yes.
You took the dosage that was prescribed.
Yes.
You didn't drink alcohol with it.
No.
You were instructed to sleep 8 hours before driving, and you slept more than 8 hours before driving.
Right.
You did everything you were told to do. And yet, you still blacked out and end up in jail.
Right.
That Houston County Sheriff's Office report says a blood test was administered and sent to the GBI crime lab. We got the results of that test, and sure enough, she had no alcohol in her system, no illicit drugs. The only substance found in her blood was Zolpidem, the generic name for Ambien. Dr. Avanesh Barr, a sleep specialist at Medical Center Navison Health, says extreme reactions to sleeping pills are rare, but they can happen.
Assault, driving, causing injury, even rape, and there's been multiple cases reported with drug use or any sleep aid that affects your sleep.
So in theory, it is medically possible that you could have a reaction like this where you would
not be aware of it.
Mead says that happened to her. She pled guilty to DUI drugs in January, and a judge sentenced her to 12 months of probation and 2 nights in jail.
It was surreal. Very intimidating. You have to take your clothes off. They have to check to see if you've brought any in. You hear people using awful language all night long, hitting the doors.
She got hit with fines and legal fees.
I have spent $5,000.
And maybe the biggest hit of all, since she travels for work, she lost her license for 6 months. You can't work right now.
No, I can't work.
And if this all happened like she says it did, this is where her bad luck got even worse. Because in Georgia, DUI drugs and DUI alcohol are not treated the same under the law.
The man in front of me in the court, he was DUI alcohol. Well, they let him drive, and not me.
She might be exaggerating, but not much. Attorney Ann Parman, who spent decades specializing in DUI defense, says if Mead had made the choice to drink and then get behind the wheel, she might have been better off legally. The crimes carry the same criminal penalties, except when it comes to your license. Parman says a first-time offender for DUI alcohol would lose their license for 4 months. Sort of.
You get a limited permit, and that is for 120 days. You can go to work, you can go to school, you can go to medical, you can go to your probation office, and you can do your community service. But other than that, you're not to be driving.
A long list of exceptions Mead couldn't get. Even though she did not choose to have an unexpected reaction to a prescribed drug, because hers was a DUI drugs charge, she lost her license completely, no exceptions.
A 6-month suspension, no permit. It's called a hard suspension.
So much of the other guidelines are just DUI neutral, drugs or alcohol. Why is there a difference here?
That's an excellent question.
There's no difference under Georgia law between most drugs either.
Ambien, there has not been an exception carved out for it.
So in the end, Linda Mead faced the same DUI charge as someone who got behind the wheel high on a drug like cocaine, all because of a pill she says her doctor prescribed. In Houston County, Zach Merchant, 13 WMAZ News.